Hey guys, welcome to the Thelearningdroid and another episode here on our exercise channel. In this episode we're going to be looking at the plank and possibly the side plank. The plank is another body weight exercise or a body position exercise, and it's designed for strengthening the back muscles and strengthening the core muscles. Now, what do I mean by core muscles? Well, there are two sets of muscles. The limb muscles and the core muscles that, there's loads of sets of muscles actually. There's also the involuntary, voluntary, all ways of different talking about muscles. But when we talk in sports and fitness about core muscles, we're basically talking about the stomach muscles, so the rectus abdominis, transverse abdominis, obliques. And we talk about the major muscles in the back and chest. So we're talking about the pectoralis major, pectoralis minor, the tersa major and minor, the deltoid, and on the back, we're talking about the trapezium muscles, the latissimus dorsi muscles, and the ilia muscles and other small muscles, as well as the infraspinalis muscles, things like that. Basically all the muscles that make up the core of our body that allow us to move and twist and bend and turn all the different interesting ways. And the reason that we tend to talk about them as a single unit called the core muscles is because they all interact with each other. They all pull and push and drag and turn and twist on each other. So we like to keep them in balance, and the plank is a great way to help keep your core muscles in balance. It's not perfect. There are other things to think about as well, other muscles that we have to exercise. But the plank is a good way to keep the core muscles in a reasonable amount of balance. So how do we do the plank? The plank is a weird exercise because it's not a movement exercise. You find your exercise position and you hold it. There's very few exercises like this. There's some that you do, like you do wall sits and things like this, where you find your exercise position and you hold it, and getting into the position isn't the important bit, the holding of the position is. Now, when we come to do exercises like this, people always get a little bit confused about what is one repetition of the exercise. And with position held exercises, there isn't really such a thing as one rep. I mean, you can say one repetition of the exercise is holding the position for however long you can hold it for, or however long you want to hold it for. From the time when you get into that position to the time when you come out of it is one repetition. But with position held exercises, that varies too much. So what we tend to talk about is we tend to talk about time in position. And time in position is how long you hold that position in total, and how much rest time you have. So say I was doing the plank, at my sort of level I'd probably be looking for a between 30 second and 60 second repetition, so 30 seconds and 60 seconds in that position per time getting into that position, and probably maybe 4 minutes to 5 minutes of that position in total. So time in position, I'd be looking for about 4 or 5 minutes, and I'd be looking for 30 to 60 seconds each time I got into that position. And then we'd have a rest time, and the rest time is how long we wait in between each repetition. At my sort of level, I'd probably be looking at 10 to 15 seconds between each repetition, or between each position. But at really high levels, you might be looking to have this exercise as 20 minutes in position, with 5-minute reps and 10 seconds rest. So you do 5 minutes in the position, rest for 10 seconds, do 5 minutes in the position, rest for 10 seconds, do 5 minutes in the position, rest for 10 seconds, do 5 minutes in the position. You've done 20 minutes in the position in 4 repetitions with 10 seconds rest between each one, with a 10-second rest period. So what is the plank position? It's very similar to push-up position, with a few very minor differences. We're looking for the same sort of thing. We're looking for a straight line between our head and our ankle bones. We're in a very similar position, but we're looking for slight different tension in the core, and we're also putting our arms in a slightly different position. So the position for the arms, there are 2 positions that people like to use. One of them is the pyramid, or the triangle, where your arms are like that. So these are just outside your shoulders and just below your shoulders, and these are usually just in front of your face. Yep. The other position is the railroads, or the straight lines, and that is, these are below your shoulders, and these are above your shoulders by about twice as much. And you'll find very quickly that there are only a couple of comfortable positions to hold your arms when you're doing this. Now, whether you have fists or flat palms has been debated greatly, and some instructors say you should always have your hands as fists. Some say you should always have your hands as flat palms because having them as fists puts too much pressure on your forearm muscles. To be honest, as with the different push-up positions and things, I have yet to see any evidence that either person is wrong. There are different advantages and disadvantages to both, in my opinion, and whether you want to have fists or whether you want to have open palms, that's up to you. Personally, I have my hands as fists because for me that's more comfortable. And so far I've been doing that for a couple of years, maybe 7 years since I started doing this particular exercise. And I've had my hands in fists every time I've done this exercise, and I've had no problem at all. So it's up to you. So what is the position? The position is nice and simple. From here, place your hands on the floor. I'm going to use triangle position. Legs back, and you're looking for that nice straight line. Now, what you're looking for is you're looking to tense your stomach up. So if I bring my hand round, you're looking for a nice tense stomach, but we don't want that bum up in the air. We want a nice straight position, and we tense. So I'm pulling my stomach up. I'm not ducking my head down. I'm not resting my hand on my chin, on my fingers or my fists. I'm keeping a nice straight position, and you can see I'm shaking. The reason I'm shaking is because my muscles are tensing. And that little bit of shaking, my bum was rising there. Don't let your bum rise. Nice straight position, nice straight back. And you'll have this tendency, for instance, my back muscles are stronger than my stomach muscles. And because my back muscles are stronger than my stomach muscles, I have this tendency to lift my bum up when I do it. And I have to fight that. And this is how this exercise helps you with your core balance, helps you figure out what parts of your core are stronger than others and helps get them into balance, is that because my back muscles are stronger, my bum starts coming up. So I know my back muscles are stronger. And because of that, I have to tense my stomach muscles more to pull my bum back down again and to keep this nice, stable, straight position. So I'm working my stomach muscles nice and hard. And that helps me get my balance. Helps me get my core muscle balance. Now, there's a variation on this technique, or variation on this position, called side plank. And it's very similar. It's a positional technique. And just like the plank, it relies upon body position. Now, with the plank, whether you do this one or this one, it works exactly the same. But with the side plank, because you're on your side, there is only really one position. And that is, at the side, level with your shoulder, nice and flat. And whether you have your hand flat or you have your hand in a fist, once again, fist is more comfortable for me. Some people say you should have your hand flat. Up to you. Once again, that or that, up to you. As long as you've got a nice straight back, just like with the push-ups. And the really important thing with the plank is that you're tensing this. You're pulling this in, and you're keeping your body nice and flat. A lot of people do the plank and they just sit there, and there's no tension. And what will happen is their spine will droop down. Because there's no tension in any of their muscles, they droop slightly. And you can see it straight away. And it's not doing anything, it's just putting pressure on the small of your back again. So with the side plank, works exactly the same, but this time I come up and I'm holding the position sideways. Now, one foot in front of the other, nice and straight here. Now what I'm doing is I'm tensing this muscle and this muscle, my obliques. So I don't tense my obliques, I end up like this, which, while a very charming position to be lying in, is not an exercise position. This goes under my shoulder, one foot in front of the other, I lift myself up and I tense my obliques. And it's the side plank. There's also one where you have a straight arm, which is called, it's called several things, and I'm not sure which one is correct. I've known it as a side push-up position, which just sounds wrong to me. I've also known it as the side plank position, which again, that is a plank to me, not up on your hand. But there's also push-up butterfly, or rolling push-up, or open plank, or all sorts of names for it. I don't know which one's right, but it's commonly done from the push-up position, and just like the side plank, we end up in the same sort of position. So from the push-up position, you come your hand in, and you come up. So you're in a very similar position to the side plank. You're relying on tensing this and this to get a nice straight spine. And then you come down into the push-up position and you do it on the other side. Now, personally, I don't like that because I find the foot position changes to be quite difficult. See, I got my foot position change wrong on the second one when I turned my back to you, and I've got cramp in the base of my toes, or in the base of my foot, because I got the foot position change wrong. Now, is that the fault of the exercise? No. Is that the fault of me? Yes. Does it mean that I like the exercise any more that it's my fault I got it wrong? No. I don't like that exercise. It's not an exercise I enjoy. And because I have the side plank, which is like that, I don't feel that I need these open push-ups or butterfly push-up position or open side plank or whatever you want to call it. I don't feel I need them, but some people like them. Because you're at a higher angle, some people say it works more muscle, the muscles harder. Personally, I feel that side plank works the muscles harder, but that's a personal preference. So with the plank position, we have to make sure we keep our back nice and straight. So a couple of the common dangers. So a couple of the common dangers are tensing your shoulders and neck too much. When you're in plank position, it's quite a stressful position on the body, and people have this tendency of lowering their head and pulling their shoulders up. So they're doing this to try and keep the position. You shouldn't be doing that. Your shoulders should be back and your neck should be relaxed when you're in plank position. So if I go into railroad plank, my shoulders are back, my neck is relaxed. I'm not pulling in. I'm nice and relaxed. In fact, I'm so relaxed, my hands can move. So you don't tense your neck or your shoulders. The next one is not tensing the stomach. If you don't tense your stomach when you're in plank position, you'll get your back drooping. And I'll show you that as well. So we go into plank position, and I don't tense my stomach muscles, so my back droops. I have to pull this up, and I have to pull my stomach muscles in. And that gives me the right position. And again, just like with push-ups, bending your knees down so they're close to the floor and you don't have a straight line. Again, I'm going to emphasize this whole straight line thing. It's important for looking after your back. Anyone who does a lot of exercise with weights or any sort of exercise really any sort of person who does a lot of exercise at all will understand that your spine has to be in a natural position when you do exercise for it to be safe. Now there is some variation on this. For instance, during sit-ups I'm bending my spine. During side leans I'm bending my spine. But I'm doing it in a really controlled manner, and the point of that exercise is to exercise muscles that are involved in bending the spine. Exercises where you're exercising your shoulders, your arms, even exercises where you're exercising your back and stomach muscles but keeping them in balance, your spine should be in a natural straight position. You shouldn't be bending your spine in an exercise that doesn't require you to bend your spine to do the exercise. Because the spine is responsible, or the muscles connecting the spine are responsible for balancing out all the forces that affect your body. So when you walk, the muscles in your spine shift so that your centre of balance is always where you're walking. When you lift a weight with one arm, your spine muscles tense so that you don't do this, so that you don't lean over. The spine muscles on the opposite side of your spine tense to help support this weight. It might be your arm that's lifting it, but your spine muscles are involved. And so you have to really focus and really pay attention to what you're doing with the rest of your body. It's not good enough when you do exercise, especially if you're doing high-level exercises. It's not as important with low-level exercises, with just exercising as a hobby or exercising just to get a little bit fitter. But it is important and it should be paid attention to at any level. But at high-level exercise, it's really important that you make sure you're paying attention to everything, not just the bit of your body you're moving. This is why physical fitness professionals are so important. A physical fitness professional will watch you and they will know straight away if you are bending your spine wrong or if you're doing something wrong, and will help no end. So if you can, even if it's just one session, and you just spend the entire session just asking questions and getting the fitness instructor to make sure you're doing a specific set of exercises right. If you can get with a fitness professional and learn from someone who's hands-on, who can see you. I mean, one of the worst things, I know I'm putting exercise videos on YouTube, but one of the worst things I feel is people who only learn exercise off YouTube, or only learn martial arts off YouTube. Anything that involves any degree of physical requirement, and not just mental requirement, should not be learnt entirely through mental means. You need to have some kind of physical interaction with someone who knows what they're doing, a fitness professional for fitness, a martial arts instructor for martial arts, a free running instructor for free running, anything like this, so that you can get the physical side of it and they can watch you, they can see you doing it, and they can correct mistakes. So if you can, a lot of gyms just do a pay for a session with a fitness instructor. Some of them make you sign up, but a lot of gyms just do for a pay for a session with a fitness instructor. If you have a gym near you that does that, grab a fitness instructor and spend an hour with them just going, am I doing this exercise right? Am I doing this exercise right? Am I doing this exercise right? And work with them to get all your exercises right. I'm giving you some of the really common mistakes, and I'm trying to make sure that you're doing these exercises safely if you're just doing them at home for a bit of fitness. But always bear in mind that it's hard to see what you're doing because your eyes are here. If you had a pair of eyes over here, watching from the side, you could see perfectly what you were doing, but you don't. So instead you need to rely on someone else's eyes, a fitness instructor's eyes, a friend who really knows about fitness, a friend who does fitness a lot. Even if you just get together with a friend and you both have the same sort of level of fitness knowledge, doing spotting for each other, and a lot of people think spotting is just lifting the weight, or just supporting the weight slightly, or just having your hand there in case they drop the weight. Spotting is more than that. Spotting is also about making sure your friend has the right body position, making sure your friend has the right exercise routine or the right exercise positions when they're going through their routine. A good spotter, if you're doing bench press and you lift your neck off the mats and you're tensing this up when you do your bench press, will tell you, relax your neck, because they know that you shouldn't have this bit all tense when you're doing bench press. So a good spotter will tell you to relax your neck if they see you tensing it up. So if you get together with friends, help each other out. Keep an eye on your friends who are exercising and make sure they're doing it well. Make sure they're not putting themselves at any risk. But if you don't know something, don't fake it. So if you watch your friend and you think they might be doing something wrong but you're not sure, don't just tell them they're doing something wrong. Find someone who knows more about exercise than you and get them to watch your friend doing exercise. Find a fitness instructor. Find someone who's been doing exercise for 40 years. Find someone who studies exercise journals and exercise books. Find someone who does a university degree in sports and fitness, something like that. And all these things will help you to develop your personal exercise. And the final thing is, have fun. If you're not having fun when you exercise, then look for a different way to exercise. Myself, I love martial arts. I enjoy martial arts. I have fun doing martial arts. So that's where I get my exercise. I get my exercise doing martial arts. I do the push-ups and the plank and the sit-ups and the squats and the runs and I do all my exercise because I'm at martial arts and because I'm working on my martial arts when I do them, and that gives me enjoyment. But if you're exercising and you find you don't enjoy it, look for something that you do enjoy that has exercise as part of it. And I got a bit philosophical at the end of that one. Sorry guys. Thanks very much guys. Talk to you later.